Salut tout le monde, bienvenue dans cette nouvelle vidéo. Et aujourd'hui... Mince, je me suis failli. Et bon, aujourd'hui on va terminer la map Dropper of Horrors. On n'avait pas fait la troisième histoire. The Wake Pumpkin. Ok. Bon, on y va tout de suite. Ah, une mini araignée. Ouais, c'est ça, ok. C'est parti.
The Wicked Pumpkin. Shouts and screams chased the Witch of Westwick back to her hut in the forest. The locals had caught on. She had been too careless flying on her broom, and now they knew she was a witch. Over her shoulder, she could see the bright fires of torches, their light gleaming off the villagers' pitchforks and scythes. Her life near Westwick was over. She would have to set up somewhere else. But first, she had to deal with the peasants. Concoctions and potions raced through her head as she navigated her enchanted trees. An invisibility potion would do the trick, but she didn't have the right ingredients. She would have to improvise. Her cat was waiting at the doorstep, but she had no time to lose. She would only have a precious few minutes before the villagers would be at her door.
Mini araignée, non, d'abord ça avec Z. Je me suis écrasé comme une crêpe. Oh, c'était pas de l'eau. Ouf. Ah, il y en avait là aussi, d'accord. D'accord. Ça fait vraiment peur, quoi. On n'est pas censé être Halloween, mais bon, hein. Attendez, je vais rapprocher. Voilà. Ok, donc je vais juste voir où est... 2. Ok.
Every second that passed, the shouts of the villagers grew louder. The witch raced around her hut, grabbing potions, roots and flowers and casting them into her cauldron. She didn't even know if what she was making would work. Her best hope was that it would grant her invisibility for just a short while, enough to be able to grab her most precious things and take off into the night. She grabbed the last of the ingredients and cast them into the cauldron. Pumpkin innards, chicken leg, and begonia stem, then stirred vigorously. The liquid inside the cauldron turned orange, blue, and then simmered down to a green. It was done. The witch grabbed a spoon and carefully poured the liquid into a glass. It was now or never. She downed the glass and gulped down every drop. It burned her throat and clogged it like she had swallowed ash. Her eyelids became heavy and droopy. Her body felt like it was made of metal. Something was wrong. She stumbled and knocked over the cauldron. Her mind turned to green and orange, as if the only thing that existed was fire and flower stems. She could see a blazing sun burning over green grass fields, a young dandelion growing out of thick green leaves, green frogs jumping over a river tinged with streaks of orange rust, a large ripe pumpkin sitting in a vine-filled mud patch.
D'accord, donc le dropper est là, ok. Ah ouais, effectivement. Ah! Oh, il est compliqué celui-là. Voilà. Ah bah une grenouille. Allez. Ok, on y va. Ta -ta -la, ta -ta -la. citrouille. Ok, on va y aller.
When the witch finally escaped the madness of the potion, she tried to regain her bearings. A large scarecrow stood slanted off to her right, and all around her she was surrounded by pumpkins. She had turned herself into a pumpkin. Aha! She thought to herself. I did it! I tricked those nasty peasants! She laughed inside her head with a mirth that only wicked witches turned into pumpkins could have. She hadn't intended to turn herself into a pumpkin, but it did the job. Now all she had to do was wait until the spell wore off. Then she'd be able to go on her merry way. But the witch had forgotten one thing. It was harvesting season, and she was a very large and magnificently ripe pumpkin. So the witch waited, and waited, and the spell didn't wear off.
D'accord, en fait elle s'est transformée en citrouille et malheureusement le sort ne s'est pas enlevé. Oh, ok, alors j'ai perdu le fil.
A few moments later.
Et voilà. Oh, de la tarte à la citrouille. Mais qu'un œuf à 50 le nez. Ok. With the pumpkin. Ok, on va y aller.
Now the Witch of Westwick had finally disappeared, there was nothing on the mind of the farmers except their beautiful pumpkins. The pumpkin farmers of Westwick had a brilliant harvest that year. They had so many pumpkins that they were able to have pumpkin pie every night. The very first pumpkin they cut was such a beauty, they made a pie out of it for all the workers, sat around the table scraping off every last morsel from their plates. Every farmer agreed that there was something unnaturally good about the harvest that year.
Eh bah oui, la sorcière qui avait tout transformé. Ah, il y a des crédits bonus. Ah purée, les araignées. À l'entrée du théâtre, d'accord. To the credit. Noxcrew. Et ben voilà les amis, on a terminé cette map qui fut, ma foi, vraiment très bien. Bon bah j'espère que vous aurez aimé cette map, n'hésitez pas à me dire en commentaire si vous voulez voir des maps d'autres que sur le marketplace évidemment, mieux que ça. Et puis sinon on se retrouve dans une prochaine vidéo les amis, allez au revoir.